Greetings, brothers, sisters, transistors. Welcome to the table. Come stand in truth. I give you first-hand information. Has to say, hey, it's also one of my favorite movies. Don't steal his car. My guest today, fraudulent diagnose and forced interventions. An experience, the threat of losing your job is definitely emerging. But I mean, the picture is much bigger than that. Get as much information as I can, just as I can do, just being there with you. Like the situation is in Canada. John, my guest, yes, with warrants for psychiatric treatment. We're going to explore the privacy erosion and state overreach. Okay, want to leave and come back. The problem. Hear me now? Thumbs up. I can see you, so give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, you could I was not you. Goodness, check. It seems that the music sometimes messes with me. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can't hear me. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, I got it working. Oh my goodness. All right, that works, and I'm really loud. So I'm going to move back. Okay, I'll just start over again. My guest today is John Wick, and he had his phone tracked. He had fake warrants he had to deal with, forced psychiatric treatment, same as Kirk Reese, also in the second half today. Um, but we're going to be exploring the privacy erosion and state overreach. And we saw that with COVID as well. You know, it's something we know the government is willing to do. Now, for the last 10 years, we've had the liberals in power. And even though they've raised, you know, taking people's guns away, not allowed to protect yourself in your own home, the report reveals alarming rise in gun violence in Canada. So the criminals don't have problems with getting guns, and they don't hand their guns in. So what we have is a big, big problem on a governmental level, and I can get into that in other shows. Um, but it has to do with the federal government rejoining the crown, which was usurped. So we have a fraudulent king right now, believe it or not, because they're supposed to follow the Judea line as father, son. And if that breaks, then you have to go back and find the next heir. That's how the royal family works. But that has been changed. And the Vatican has also been taken over by these same people. Canada has been taken over by these same people. 1974, Pierre Elliott Trudeau ended our Bank of Canada's ability to give out interest-free loans to the provinces, the city, and the federal government. But when Queen Victoria died, her decree was to give back the land to Canadians and to the provinces more specifically. So all the provinces were basically sovereign countries until the federal government, without the right to do so, without the power, without transparency, without asking permission, they handed us back into the monarchy, the Commonwealth, which it was illegal. It's fraudulent. So our entire government, federal government, is fraudulent. And this is how they're getting away with what they're getting away with, because they are criminals. We're dealing with criminals that pretend they're blue and green and orange and red. They all pretend that they're different, but they're really different forms of tyranny. You have eco-fascism, you've got Marxism, you've got communism and socialism. All of them are criminals. They're all criminal political, just like Zionism. Zionism is probably the one that doesn't like anybody, even Jews. They don't like anybody. You know, they are not good people, and they have taken over the world. COVID-19 was a weapon. It was a military grade weapon. It stunts the brain's ability to create new memories, and I've seen the reports on that. Um, so it deletes memory. And now they have the AI basically erasing history online. I've seen it. I've seen it with my research that all of a sudden the words are changed, the things are different. That the and it's quite frightening because they're really bringing in the final stages of a totalitarian world order that's not good. It's not happy. Nobody's going to be happy except through the mRNA. They're going to be able to make you feel happy. They can control emotion. If they can make you feel happy, they can also make you violent. They can also, make people kill each other. If you watch the church scene in The Kingsman, you'll see exactly that technology being used. And the part of their sorcery is showing the truth, you know, in front of your face without saying the truth. you know, they can do that easily through movies, but sorcery is a part of it, and we're dealing with it. And it's hard to know if you're even telling the truth or believe the truth because of the vast generational lies that have been told to us. My ramble's done, but as you can see, the taking away your guns, is like a part of the series of events, including the immigration. They basically made us vulnerable. They've taken the children away by taking over education. They're DEI, making white people hate themselves. They're killing white Christians all over the world in our name with our money. In Syria, we're funding the bad guys. So that's not easy to it's not an easy thing to face because most Canadians I know are good people and they don't want any part of this. And including my guest who has suffered at the hands of these people. And I'm going to let him tell his story from his perspective from start to finish without interruption. Thank you so much for coming, John Wick.
Thank you
I'm,
for the invitation.
I'm honored to have you here. You were able to say a little bit in the last podcast you were in with us, and so I'm going to go off screen. I would just want you to tell your story, so it's on archived and it's on multiple platforms. So if they erase it one place, they have to erase it everywhere. And your story is terrible. I mean, it's terrible, but it's an example of what they're capable of and what we're dealing with, and that's what we want to do. We want to inform our fellow man, right? So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. Where should I start though?
Start with
From the
the phone.
the beginning is come from a few years ago.
Yes.
It's been many years.
Yeah, we have all the time in the world, and I want you to get the facts out. You started. I don't know if you started with the phone tracking or if it started before then. Did it start before then, or yeah,
Uh,
start, yeah, start right from the beginning.
okay. Well, I could go from my military background and before,
Yes, yes.
and I got injured, it's fractured my spinal cord. I was told I may never walk again, and I proved the doctor wrong, so that's good. But that was happened in 2016, and I spent many weeks and many months in the hospital, paralyzed from everywhere below my head, barely able to eat, lift a fork, walk, get out of bed, and it was a good struggle. That not really good, but I went through it and relearned it all to walk. Spent many years in a wheelchair, and they ended up kicking me out for breach of universality of service in 2019, meaning I can't do my job because my spinal cord is fractured and I can barely carry my own body weight and do much of anything. And it's a big date that they fired me, released me for breach of ministerial service on the I got the date up there, March 29, 2019, which most people don't know, but on the 1st of April 2019, the government made a new reform on disability medical release. If it's not related to service, you don't get compensation. So in my case, I was injured in 2019. They still refused to acknowledge it was related to my service. So I wouldn't get nothing. No compensation, no disability other than the regular federal and provincial disability paycheck. And because I was fired for breach of university service, 2 days before that change, I do have my medical pension from the old grandfather thingy. So I got up to 90%, which is for me a blessing. I got many friends who did not have the let's say the or just say that they got released after the 1st of April 2019, and they were left fed on themselves, trying to provide for themselves, provide for their family, and they were lacking funds for not having any support from the Canadian military. In my case, I was injured in 2019. We're now in 2025. It's been 9 years, and I'm still waiting for Veterans Affairs to get me any compensation for my injury or acknowledge is related to service. So it the way I see it, it's great that they fired me for being injured 2 days before they make the change, because the way it was going, they would have fired me after that change, and I wouldn't have a house, I wouldn't have a vehicle, I couldn't even get grocery today. So it's a big corruption that I've been trying to fight. And ironically, most people probably know Veterans Affairs cover for military and RCMP and other public servant. So I'm fighting for the veterans pension, and the police force is going against me fighting for their pension. So I find it really weird, but it's uh, it's the
Definitely.
way it goes. And after 2019, uh, I've those who've been watching the news in New Brunswick near the base of Gagetown. where I was posted down there. They know Fredericton was a big flood area. They had record flooding, 8 feet, 8 feet flood above. My house was in the flood area, and they didn't cover anything because it was an act of God, as they called it. And I call bullshit on that because the dam is at the bottom of a river, and up the river is the wood industry, which I got nothing against the wood industry. But when the government allowed people to cut endless trees and there is no shade or trees to do water retention, and now you have open field, which a lot of snow in the winter that melt a lot faster without the shade of those trees and without those trees retaining the water for their own growth. Then down the river there is extra water going down there, which is not an act of God, it's human made. The government sign up on it, and it's one of the best industry of the province. So it's it's pretty corrupt on that side. So I
Mm.
pretty much lost my house in the process of getting fired from the military. At the same time, I moved to Ontario, which I got photo op at the McGill University in neurology with some of the best doctor in neurology because my spinal cord is fractured. Uh, the middle of it contained a liquid that is around the spinal cord. So instead of protecting my spinal cord, that liquid is inside of it and making pressure from the inside out of all my nerve. Every time I move, I bend, I move my back or anything. So it is increasing pain, and my legs, my arms, my body, everything is nerve damage from a fractured spinal cord. So it wasn't really an easy path, but somehow I signed up for it, and I'm okay being a disabled veteran. It's it's not a branding, it's not a name. It's just what I became. My back hurts more than the average. Spent a couple years in a wheelchair, trying to get out of a wheelchair, walking around with a walker, walking around with a cane, and is it's a long process that many people have been through before. I'm not the only one. And it's not just related to the military. People get a car accident, they lose a limb. People get walking down the street and they get hit by a car or anything outside force that people don't have any control over it. But
Yep.
it's been it's been a rough path. And on middle of all of that, the some police officer decide to racial profiling me, and because they knew I was a veteran for having a veteran plate on my vehicle, they went high risk. To which I don't blame them. They know we're veterans. Okay, he's trained in combat, so let's don't give him any room of opportunity to mess around. And so I get it. I've been doing more than their job in the military. I know how to lock people down and not give them opportunity to fuck around. Uh, they tried that on me. I sent you the video. You saw it. They came at me from behind in the dark. They assaulted me uh, when I
Mm.
was driving, and they said that I assaulted them with my vehicle being a weapon. So they charged me for assaulting a peace officer with a weapon when they came from behind and tried to sideswipe me off the road. So their vehicle was neutralized. Don't blame me for that. And I pulled over right away in the parking lot, got off of my vehicle, and there was more police officer coming around trying to box me in, and some of them were running towards me on feet. There was guns everywhere. So, well, if I see in the line of sight, I know what's likely to happen. If I get out of the line of sight, my odds of survival are higher. So I went back in my vehicle and left the scene. When I noticed there was police officer behind me, few minutes later, I pulled over in the parking lot again, went outside of my vehicle, sat down on concrete block, wait for them. They came around. They put their they were aiming at me, made an L circle in front of me. I had those red dot in my chest. I look. I know that they don't want to shoot. That's the last thing they want to do. I'm not going to give them a reason to shoot. And I wasn't fearing for my life because I know they're training, and I know that's the last thing they want to do. In theory, some of them I wouldn't want to know. But I wasn't fearing for my life much, having guns on me. I've been trying for it, and I know police officer they don't want to shoot, and I was just there, want see if they want to talk. They didn't want to talk. They grabbed. They came from behind. One of them grabbed my right arm. The other one grabbed my left arm, and they flipped me on the back when I was seated. They dragged me on the asphalt parking. My face was all bloody. My knees were bloody. My elbow were bloody, and they didn't want me to have a lawyer or anything. They sent me for meant. Well, they compared me to George Floyd when it was on the ground, and they did a lot of insult. And that was the 1st of June, 2020. And most people recall who George Floyd is. He was he's been dead 2 weeks in the 2 weeks frame before the 1st of June, 2020. And and Regis Koziski Paquette from Toronto was in an apartment the same week, and she fell down in an apartment. When police officer went in there, they investigated themselves and said they were not the cause of her falling off the window and dying when she hit the ground. And everything in the news was defund the police. And I, disabled veteran, get beat up by cops. And compared to George Floyd, I got it on video. They sent me in mental health hospital for observation, and they threatened me that if I want to complain, they'll drive me mentally insane, stretch it out in court until my legal fee, force me to bankruptcy, make me lose live in the street after losing my house and having to live in the street with my wife and kid. So I look at that officer and I told him, "Game on," because I know my background, I know who's got my back, and I wasn't afraid, and I'm still not. But everything that they've done after that, I saw it coming because I know their playbook and they can't deny it. I'm still alive to testify about it. So somehow I must be right and they must be in the wrong if they are powerless with all the attempts, that coercion and manipulation they've tried to on me. It's no fun. Uh,
Yeah,
I've
once
been
you're a
under.
target, yeah, once you're a target, that's it. And they've got all our money to go after you,
Yeah,
our
and
stolen money.
I've been under sensitive grief warfare for since that day. Those who are not aware of it, it's military
Freak.
capability
Yeah.
where they use AI to
Yep.
read your face,
Yep.
and if you react, all they do is push you to get more grief. So they'll put you sad, they'll push your content that everything you scroll down, it's controlled by AI. The next thing you see on your screen when you scroll is controlled by AI. And
Yep.
when that AI is there to increase your grief level, make you depressive, or suicidal or anything. I've seen it in many people, and it's most people are not aware of it. I've tried to spread awareness of it for the past 5 years, and it's pretty bad when you open up your phone and you're trying to look on social media, and all you see is picture of people getting tortured, picture of kids getting bullied, harassed, crying. And I haven't been allowed to see my kids
Yep.
for the past 2 years. So when I see a video of something that looks like the same age as my kid, with the really similar voice and getting pretty some stuff that is no fun to watch over and over, well, my brain goes back, says, well, I miss my kid, I can't see him, and all I see in my feed is kids getting abused and everything, and it's bad. And
It's
see,
funny you say that because
yeah,
I experienced the same thing with injured animals because it like breaks my heart. Kids or
yeah,
animals being harmed, and I had to block and block and block over and over until it was finally stopped. But yeah, you're right. It's almost
yeah,
like they read our weaknesses and they push it on us to break us down,
Yeah,
to weaken us in different ways. They do that with food and air and water, but they can also track us down. They can track our
yeah,
phones, our cars. They can just manufacture fake warrants
yeah.
to get what they want, to get compliance.
They falsify whatever, they perjure themselves. And one of my friend went to court at one point, and they were reading the police report, and they said, that is a lie. Why don't you call the police officer, write down that report? And that police officer was a military police officer. Uh,
Oh,
he testified that his report is not what is on that report. So somebody somewhere falsify a military police officer report to paint my
yeah.
friend as a bad guy. And I know they do it to me, they do it to him, they do it to other people. And who's doing that? It's not the one on the ground, it's those above them that are hidden, and they control the narrative. And when you paint as a bad guy, they keep coming at you like you're a bad guy, but
Hmm.
it's
Yeah, Facebook restricted me now. They may end up like shutting me down completely, but just over the swastika and the symbol meaning, I said it means conducive to well-being. That's the true meaning of it.
yeah, it's been
It-
all over in the world, in the Inca, in all
yeah.
over the place. It's a sign that's been appropriated by
Yes.
a group,
Yep. It was
but that
appropriated
sign
by the
is
Zionists.
older. It's older than that group, and the
Yeah.
meaning of it is older than that group. So
Yep.
it
And
doesn't
they're
have the same
fulfilling
meaning.
scripture by making good evil and evil good.
Yeah,
That is right in our face now, but it's no longer hidden because we have I think our creator is involved with the awakening and people having to look at what's really happening. It's not easy for many. People are working hard for their income, and it's getting harder and harder as everything is going up. Our belts are tightened, our money is rationed, but Carney is just spending like a drunken whore. Just spend 78 billion over there,
yeah,
and DEI programs that we don't even condone or consent. There's no
yeah.
parental consent.
Mm.
So they've showing us right to our face that we have been taken. We have a coup in Canada
Yeah,
that we're
and
living in. And
it
you're
is the
proof of that.
crown responsibility to keep Canadian sovereignty intact,
Yep.
and somehow the crown is aligning with globalist, and the government follow globalist agenda when the crown responsibility is to keep Canadians sovereign. So there
Mhm.
is sovereignty in Canada, and it's easy to know. Anybody can look at the Mary Simon's Governor General, and what her job title is, and what the color of the governor general is, because I've carried that color in the past, and it represents Canadian sovereignty. So if Canadian are sovereign and they keep saying we're not sovereign, then why do we have the color, which is the governor general color, one of the highest color in the country? And why do we have the king coming here last summer, which they sent me in jail a few days before he showed up? So I couldn't
Really?
witness. Yeah,
Oh.
I couldn't witness his speech, but I watched a replay when I was out of there. And 20 seconds into the speech, he acknowledged Canada being an unceded territory.
Mhm.
So if they have it's unceded, they coexist with the native, then
Right.
the law of the land supersede the law of the crown, which is maritime law. It's already been to the Supreme Court of Canada that the law of the land is higher than the Supreme Court of Canada. They already admit it. And
Mhm.
anybody who is born on the land have immunity, and the crown have no right of action. But every
Mm.
time you end up in court, there's a crown prosecutor creating slander, blasphemy, and vilifying people with impunity, and it's hard to fight back because they fight pretty hard. They use coercion. They tried to have me make a plea of something I didn't do to be released from jail. Well, I didn't do it. I'm not gonna plea something I didn't do. But you
Yeah.
guys should investigate your own people for doing malicious prosecution and trying to have me killed when I'm in jail, and having me tortured when I'm in mental health hospital or in jail or anywhere else they bring me.
Hmm.
And I've been brought to rooms where just like the movie, they have a big glass and there is people behind that glass and there is somebody in front of you and they ask you any question they want. And I've been in those room and somehow was able to see through the window. Somebody behind it didn't thought about shutting down the lights. So all
Oh,
the shading, I could see everybody down there. So I
wow.
answer honestly all of it, and they never proceed of anything out of it. But there's a lot of criminal negligence, and it cost many life. I'm alive because I know how to adapt and survive. And I know many people who get bullied, harassed, coerced that they'd rather pay a fine and move on than taking a stand and fighting for their rights, their freedom,
Yep.
and the right thing.
But as I said, we had a coup in Canada. When Queen Victoria died, she gave all the provinces the power, the land. So we had basically like 10 countries. All the provinces were sovereign. But in 1931, it was official. The Statute Revision Act gave land to the provinces and out of the crown's hands. So we became sovereign at that point. But in 1947, the federal government, without any power to do so, without any permission or the ability, like on technical grounds, gave authority to King George, Queen Elizabeth's father, and then later on extended that power to the Governor General. But these are all fraudulent. The federal government didn't have the ability to do that. It's like your neighbors selling your children, for $200.
Yeah,
They
they have no right of.
you
No.
don't have the right to do that. You don't have permission to do that. And so this is what happened to our country. This is why the police, the RCMP, the people that have abused you are working for that government, for the fraudulent government. They answer to them, and they will target whoever the government wants them to target. And that's really, the purpose of this particular podcast is just giving you an example of what they're capable of doing and archiving it, because they are going to get to a point where I won't be able to say this and you won't be able to say this. There will be a point where it will be too late to fight back. We won't be able to fight back at all.
Yeah,
And I do want to restore Canada, but without violence, in a peaceful way, in a legitimate legal. If it takes just documents to show the fraudulent system that we have, all our parties that the media covers are all bad parties. We got Marxism, and they all got different colors, but they're still hiding behind what they really are, like Marxism, fascism, eco-fascist. The
yeah,
Green Party would be absolutely a nightmare, putting plants over people. I mean, that is like Carney, worse than Carney's net zero. But the CO2 levels have been dropping, and if it drops to 150 parts per million, all the plants will start dying, and the animals will start dying, and then
yeah.
us.
Mhm.
So
They
this
want to
is
kill. They want to kill all the crops, so we
yep,
will be have to rely on synthetic food,
yep,
and it's
yeah, and
not
then
viable on long term.
today they're spraying the sky, which is a contracted, airplane company. So it's not literally the government military doing it; they're contracting it out, and it's a United North American, whatever that's called, Northcom, the joint military system that we've locked into, military industrial complex. Oh, but I'm sorry, I'm like ranting today. I didn't mean to do that because you have so much to say. And
Yeah.
did we talk about your phone tracking? They tracked you. They found you
Yeah,
by your
well,
phone.
January 12th, I got a notification my phone's being tracked. I leave my house and there was a big snowstorm, about a feet of snow on the road, and I'm driving away to see if my friend is okay, because I want to make sure if they're tracking me, they may be tracking him. So I go to his place, see if he's okay. And before I reached there, between two cornfields, there was a ditch and a curve. And with the snowstorm, I didn't see the sign pre-warning that said there's a turn coming, and I ended up in the ditch. So the police officer were there a couple seconds after because they were tracking my phone. I got the police reports that they were tracking my phone, and they admitted it, so they can't deny it. And they sent me to hospital for mental health evaluation, where every day I was asking to get my lawyer or see my chief or see the chief of police, Eric Stubb, that was the chief of police at the time, and they wouldn't allow me. So I did told them that I don't consent to be there, but as long as I got a roof over my head and I got food, I'm not too worried. And that's I will charge them 50 grand a day to keep me captive and going against my rights and freedom. So they didn't like that, and I was reminding them every day, and every day they would send all this the hospital security. They have their gear on them. That's fine. I'm okay with that. They show up six, 10, a dozen. I don't mind. The nurse asked me to go to my room. I go to my room. They ask me to go into bed. They shackle me and they forcibly inject me. When I remind them I do not consent, I do not consent, and they still do it. And I show no violence because I'm not stupid. My back is fractured. I can't do much, and they show up. The full floor is in lockdown with magnetic door. They send security guard to threaten me, and I've been friendly with all of them. And if any of them think I've been violent, well, they should speak out. But I don't think any of them could. And
Mm.
when that was at the Ottawa Regional Hospital. So there's 20, 30, 40 security guard down there who's been complicit of human rights abuse, tortured, forcibly injecting somebody is biological warfare, which is bioterrorism. And they knew I did not consent to be there, and they said under doctor's order. So that doctor, which I named many times, and I even called the hospital asking them how they feel about that doctor doing bioterrorism and applying a lot of their staff in that stuff. And I got no call back. Police department, they don't care. I went to Elgin Street on the police station. I end up in handcuff because I was asking to speak with the Eric Stubb, the chief of police. So I can't even go to their workplace asking to testify. I get arrested, and I've tried many different police station. Every time is the same. It's above their pay grade. There's nothing they can do. Well, if they want to support domestic terrorists and all that stuff, it's on them. They have a choice to make. But from my perspective, I've done nothing wrong. I keep being assaulted, and uh,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna fight back when there is 10 police officer coming at me or one police officer coming at me. They
Yeah.
want to talk. That's fine. Get me an
Yeah.
handcuff. Bring me whatever
Sure.
and do your job, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back with legalese and get everything sorted out. But it
Yeah.
happened that the LECA doesn't care. The investigative special unit, ISU, ICU, or whatever, all of them. I've googled every way to make a complaint, official complaint about the police, and I've tried them all. I went to the RCMP station asking to testify, and they won't take my testimony. I
Mhm.
went to different police station. I even went on military base and trying to speak with the public relation officer, and I ended up in a cell with for a few hours and advised not to come back on base, which is I got my regimental family down there, and you can see some of them behind me.
Yeah.
So they don't want a veteran to go back to base, see the regimental family, see anything, which is pretty messed up. And they would rather protect their boss, which is political. And when they are apolitical, Soldiers
Yep.
are apolitical, warriors are apolitical. But
Yep.
when they side with the politic and official narrative, they're not doing their job.
Yep.
And from my perspective, it's lead up to treason when
Yeah,
they
it should
can.
be separate.
Yeah.
Francine wants to say hello to you.
Hello, Francine.
Thanks for joining us, Francine, and Robbie too, who's absolutely right. Canadian government is a fraud.
Yeah.
Period. Yep.
When
You
they
know,
cannot.
and you're not taught that in school,
Yeah.
and you'll
When
never
you.
hear it on the news because it
Yeah.
is. They're all working together.
Like last last March, I went up to see the local mayor, give him a letter asking for protection and do something, and the local mayor didn't want to be involved with it. He sent it to my local OPP, which they arrested me a few days after, sent me to jail, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I got out of jail. Then I went back to see the mayor, asking them even more. It's on the public record on the city council records official question, so they can't deny it. It's still up there, and it's one of the most viewed monthly assembly that they have for the past forever, because they usually get one or two view, 4 or 5 view. That one I think was 1200. So it's a big boost of people watching it. They can't deny it, and I've asked many times, but no, nobody want to take my testimony, even with the polygraph. Nobody want to do anything. It's above their pay grade. But I'm not paid about it. It's not above my pay grade because I ain't paid for that. I just do it because it's the right thing, and some people should focus more on that. 'Cause, I'm a good example why they shouldn't fuck around with anybody. But you can grab anybody who came from a different country where they've been doing warfare down there. They have child soldier coming in Canada, and if they go after them, what's going to tell them that they are not going to do an improvised explosive device and just blow all the cops up? So they shouldn't go aggressively on people the way they do, harassing them over and over and over again. Because I was trained in close quarter combat. I was trained to disarm firearm. I was trained to disarm knife. I was trained to shoot. I was trained to identify uh, explosive device, improvise explosive device. So I know what to look for to make sure I'm not blown up. I know what to look for to make sure how they are and how dis- to disable them. But I also know how to make them because it's the same thing. So they shouldn't go over somebody who's more than qualified on close quarter combat shooting and explosive over and over and over again without wanting to speak. And all I've been asking is to speak because I have the right to settle outside of court, and it's been more than 50 court dates so far, and the judge doesn't care about it. It's not the matter at hand during that day. So they don't care that million of life are at risk from SGW, and they don't care that police officer or making up false testimony. So other officer get a fake warrant to arrest somebody, abduct them, send them to an undisclosed location to have them torture and nearly kill. Like, why does a judge doesn't care? Why does a police officer doesn't care? Why does the prosecutor doesn't care? And I've been going for the past 5 years telling them over and over again, and they refuse to give me any of the body cam that those police officers have. They refuse to give me any police reports. It's their version. It's their official version. And if I go against their narrative, I'm the bad guy. So it's one day something's going to be bad, and it's probably not going to be about me because I'm broken. I can barely walk and can barely do anything. But when you keep getting arrested, sent for mental health evaluation, being tortured, threatened, if you speak out, they'll kill you, and they send you to jail when you get some friendly inmate letting you know that the guards are looking to get you silenced and they're offering contraband for it. Well, my life is worth more than a few cigarettes in a jail. So I got a good heads up to to survive, and I'm still alive. So, but you never
Yeah.
know when they send you down there. One of the gear I were down there, I'm not gonna say name, but he was what seemed to be a peaceful guy and what seemed to be a not peaceful guy tried to bully him, harass him, and tried to beat him up. He jumped on him, and the guy did one punch. The other guy fell down, and he was dead. So involuntary slaughter, an extra 12 years. So if I'm down there, somebody go at me, I could die or take life. Uh, it's in any meaning of it. So it's I shouldn't be put in a situation where it's the concrete jungle and it's it's fucked up.
Well, Kirk was going to join us, but he is not able. He just came from the doctor. I hope
Oh,
he's okay. Man, his story is almost mirror to yours as
yeah,
far as forced medical for fraudulent diagnosis. Um, so there was no respect to you both
yeah.
about
I've knew
your
Kurt for
sovereignty.
years, and what he's been through. I see pattern that I've been through it, and I see other
Yep.
people with pattern that we have been through it, and there is more pattern on other people. Just like you you said yourself with SGW attacking you. Well, it's not just you, it's not me, it's not him, it's not the other one. It's uh it's most Canadian and most likely around the world because there is some American that are also under SGW attack. So we the people are under attack and we have to fight back against an invisible enemy
Yeah.
in the grid, internet grid, in the electricity grid, and in all that stuff. It is above most people pay grade because it's higher level than who knows what agency could deal with that. But there is an issue. I'm just trying to point it out before it's too late. And if the more people could wake up and do the right thing, and especially those police officers, they have to do the right thing, stop going against people and following unlawful order blindly. Because I've been through that with multiple of them, and they have body cam. They should get me that those body cam as a request to
Yes.
prove it. That they
Yes.
have to do their due diligence, not to put my life at risk. And when I have evidence that every time I get arrested, I get tortured and nearly killed or threatened to be killed, and there's people around me in a similar
Yep.
situation, and they don't
It,
care, they send me to jail. Well, they are complicit, and when I get tortured, they're complicit, and they are committing treason, putting people at risk that they swear to protect. Because
mhm.
my own safety as a civilian, I'm not allowed to be harmed because the police are there to protect me. So if I'm not
Yep.
allowed to be harmed, the police are there to protect me, and they come at me with their guns and lock me up
Assault you.
undisclosed location and torture me. Well, the next time I don't want that to happen, and I keep telling them, and they keep coming. And I know their rule of engagement. They don't want to shoot me, and I comply. I don't fight back. I just put me in handcuff, and whatever happened, it's out of my control. I can only choose how to react. And
Yeah.
if I fight back, I get more pain. Like
Yeah.
when they jump on me, tackle me on the ground, and put me in handcuff, which happened multiple times.
With a
Well,
fractured
what?
spine.
Yeah, you see a veteran walking with a cane, and police officer came from behind and tackle him, punch him to the ground, and keep putting knees on them, tell them I'm hurt, and they compare me to George Floyd, or they so many times. It's at one point they should be all accountable.
And you should have a right to find out what they injected in you.
I
And
did
then
ask the
the
staff
hospital.
down there to give me a list of every medication they forced on me when I was down there,
Hmm.
and there was a bunch of pills for mental health and a bunch of nonsense, but injection on a daily basis were not listed. So they could have injected me cancer that will be killing me in a year or two, and it will be untraceable. They could have literally
mRNA,
get me anything under
mRNA
my consent.
probably.
Yeah, so I could be dead and anytime. And since that day, I got a spine injury that's already bad. But since that day, my left arm, I can't barely lift higher than that because my entire shoulder from getting injected every day on both arm. That one got worse. I can barely lift it higher than that. I move fast, my nerve go haywire. And on a bad day, all the way in my chest, it feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack again. Because having
Yeah,
three of them is wasn't enough.
and the purpose really also of the show is to reach out to the good people on the police force. And like I had a 32-year veteran, Vincent Gersey, who saw corruption, and he saw the same thing. So I want to reach out to these good people in the RCMP, because there are good people. There has to be, and hope they see and realize that their boss has stolen their country. They're stealing their children. They're indoctrinating them and doing things that are bad for their fellow man.
Yeah. Well,
So
they're
we need
told.
them. We need them, and we need them to stop attacking you and
Yeah.
Kirk and
Or
any
any
other.
random other people, because it's not
Yeah.
just me or Kurt or anybody. There's so many people that they don't like. They locked up for a few weeks, a few months, and they coerce them to make a play that they didn't do just to go back to their freedom, which is total coercion. The entire justice system, from my own testimony, could collapse. There is a few hospital who has been tortured, and the staff is aware that those hospital, I mean, I don't want to shut down an hospital, but they should be investigated for human rights violation, tortured,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
which most of the doctor down there, they they violated their oath, and they should have their license to practice revoked, and they're still doing whatever they want, and it's not fun. And when a doctor tell you that they can't release you because the police want you in a cell, but if you want to be released, then you end up in a cell. So you better just shut your mouth and enjoy the good bed in the hospital and the better food.
So
So they
compassionate.
can't
Yeah.
deny that they know the doctor orders came from the police order
Right.
to have me
Right.
down there. It's
Yep.
all linked, and I've made so many testimonies, so many complaints to all the agency to do that, to straight to the police station asking to speak with an officer. I went to the military base asking for a military police because it is a national issue, and the national defense should step in. And it's the military job to keep Canadian sovereignty sovereign, and there is protocol when the government go too much communist to
Yeah.
military do some arrest and give back the power to the people without being a military state. So I'm aware of many things that should have been done. I'm aware of many rule of engagement and protocol that has been not followed, and the life of too many people are at risk. And
Yeah.
it's not just mine. They wanted me dead, I would have been dead by now, but somehow they can't afford it. uh they gave up 10.5 million to America Deer because he went to Guantanamo Bay after killing Christopher Spear. And
Maybe they wanted to just break your spirit.
yeah,
They
but
want you.
they can't break me. The military makes sure I'm unbreakable.
Yeah, but it seems like that's what they were trying to do to you,
Yeah, I've been
like
trained to
torture,
conduct
punish.
myself under becoming if I'm make a prisoner of war, which I've been made a prisoner of war against the war of evil, against the war of terror,
Right.
and somehow against politician, because
Hmm.
it's highly politics to refuse accountability when you got a video of somebody comparing me to George Floyd when I'm underground bleeding and asking them to stop hurting me.
Hmm.
So they covered it up. I've pointed out in court. I pointed out and complain, and they still covering it up over and over and over again. And I know what I should be doing, which I don't want to do. I'm just peaceful. I want to be left alone and be a nobody and just enjoy not my pain in my own way, but I just want to work out my pain and enjoy what life has to offer. Because tomorrow is never promised, and the best present life has to offer is the present. So the gift of life is now, not tomorrow, which is fiction. Because never know what's gonna happen. Maybe they'll swat me out again, which they've done a few times. Maybe they'll send a drone and just make everything go boom, disappeared. I don't know. It's probability. I rather not look at what the odds because they're too high to be neglectable. And hopefully there is some good cops somewhere that's going to speak out, just like Ellen Guru, an Ottawa
Yes.
detective with the COVID and the increased death from children.
Yeah, well,
And
Helen Grews, she really revealed the harm for children,
yeah,
the connection to the mRNA, and what they did to her shows exactly who they are.
yeah. I've seen
This
the
is the
pattern that
evil
they've done
part.
to her as the same
Mhm.
as they done to Kurt, or they are
And
doing to
you,
Trump and other
yes,
people.
yep. So we
And
have a
it's
big problem, and we're trying to find remedy and solutions and
yeah,
ways to take back our country from a crime syndicate, really, and a banking cartel, which is against Christian values to have usury. It's against our the religion. It's against that's why Jesus flipped the table of the money changers, because
yeah,
they were sitting on their ass collecting interest on their ass, doing nothing. These bankers, these powerful people that are ruling over the world, are lazy do nothings. They're
yeah,
making their money and their wealth off of the backs of mankind. It's not just this country. Every COVID country you look at, that's all their countries. That's the ones they all took over. And every time you hear about a war, whoever the bad guy is probably the good guy. And the good guy is probably the bad guy. Everything is reversed. And they have
yes,
AI now enforcing that. I see the AI is deleting and erasing a lot of what I researched. I look back and it's gone. They've
yeah.
changed the meanings of things.
And
So
to which is
it's
ironic in a way, because I'm against digital ID. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not big political. I don't talk much about that. But I know that they can have voiceover and they can have AI video, making people do stuff they wouldn't do. And now anything that's if you get arrested, it's that guy on the videos. They can't prove it. And a good
mhm,
example of that is with AV Pumperas or Secret Service in the state. She was talking about one of the guy who had a hat and a sweatshirt was in the interrogation room, and she tried to grill him, and she couldn't do it. Then she show up a picture of him with the hat and the hoodies, and see the guy just the resemblance looked uncanny, but that ain't me, and there is nothing
yep,
she could do because digital dust could be falsified, digital dust could be anything, and they nothing with no phone recording, no audio recording or visual recording could be used in court because they can't prove it is not being tampered. And if they come in with the video and they say that's the guy, that's what he did, so, well, can you prove that video hasn't been tampered? Nope. Then I reject that video. Have a nice day. And there's nothing they can do.
yep.
So digital ID is just it goes against people's right, and I'm gonna fight for people's right to remain neutral, not being attacked or stolen or anything. And
Well, they're gonna offer like ice cream and cookies. They will say, "Well, you have a UBI if you do it." A universal basic income. Meanwhile, it's gonna look like a lot of money, $2,000 a month. Ooh, I could live on that. And then everything, all the price of food is gonna go up and up
Yep.
and up, and eventually we're going to be poor again. It's all by design. It's a trap.
Yeah.
UBI is a trap because they're controlling how much everything costs. We have been usurped through debt. This deficit, that's stealing. That's the government stealing from you. You want you to tighten your belt, but they're not tightening their belt at
Yeah.
all. They're
I
spending
rem
more and
I
more.
remember a few years ago, if I wanted to eat hot dogs, I would go to the grocery store and get a pack of hot dogs,
Mhm.
and it
Yep.
would be the bread is more was more expensive than the hot dogs themselves.
Yep.
But now they're like $6, $8 for a dozen
Yeah.
of
Yep.
sausage. Like, where did the money came from? Or what's the spike increase that is like 4 or 5 times more expensive in a few years just for hot dogs? And you look at more quality food, which is there is extra price for anything organic or biologic. So they'll
Yeah.
charge you more for something healthy, and they'll charge you
Yeah.
more for something that will reduce
Hmm.
your health. And
And
it's
we are bringing it to light. And I can't even believe we've been talking an hour. It's like
yeah,
the time flies when I have amazing guests. I hope you do come back.
yeah,
I plan to invite you back. Kirk almost made it on. He was in
yeah,
for about 2 seconds and then he was gone. But I mean, thank you, Kirk. I mean, it is people like Kirk that now show him. He,
yeah,
bought T-shirts. He bought T-shirts and helped to start um, the second season of the Truth Table. So thank you, Kirk, and all the other people that bought shirts, because I wasn't going to be able to pay for it myself. And so I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, John. And I want to thank you for your honesty. And I hope you come back. I hope, I wish you good health and remedy for what they've done to you. And I hope that we reached the good people that are in the RCMP and in the police force,
yeah.
because we need you. We really need you. You have to see what we're dealing with here and who
They
you're
are the
taking
one in the
orders from.
crossfire who have to pick a side. It's
Yes.
not the civilian, it's not the government, it's the in between.
Yep.
They are in a crossfire. There's the weapons arm, and at bottom of the day, doesn't matter what color they wear. They are
Yep.
paid
Yep.
mercenary. They are guns for hired. That they get provided that gun, it's doesn't matter. They are paid and they have weapons and they have bulletproof vests, and they shouldn't go and harass people. They shouldn't go and abduct people. They shouldn't go
Yep.
and torture people, trying to kill them because they refuse to do their job, and pointing out they refuse to do their job. So hopefully some of them will speak out to the chain of command, because
Yep.
if they all commit treason and they all stay quiet, it's not a Canada that nobody would want to be. And
Well, thank you,
hopefully,
John, for
yeah.
coming. I appreciate your time and spending time
Thank
at
you
the
for the
Truth Table.
yes,
I appreciate it so much. And I hope you return and we can update and hopefully we have great news. Thank you. And thank you all at home for watching the Truth Table. And I'm grateful for you as well for your support and just for watching and sharing. Subscribing to my YouTube will help. Facebook only keeps these videos for 30 days, so there's a limit to Facebook as well. They've restricted me for my truth. They don't like that truth thing anymore. So I'll end off with this video. Thank you all.